This is the problem with our justice system. We have people like Fahima Mahomed working for them and coming out on live TV broadcasts saying that the term grooming gangs is racist. You couldn't make this up. In today's video, we will watch and react to the A News broadcast courtesy of GB News, where Fahima Mahomed came out and said some ridiculous stuff. Not to mention she self-proclaimed to work for the UK's Ministry of Justice. Not only that, we will also go over all of the latest news from up and down the country. Before we get into the clip, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and join our fast-growing community. Just a quick one to say we do have t-shirts available on our website. We have stuck Farmer and Make Britain Great Again ones. Make sure you check the link in the description or go to britishstand.com. So have a watch of this.
I think that the Islamophobia definition was not really created by Muslims. It was a British think tank at the time, and to adopt that is only to basically take away from the fact that if there are any anti-Muslim hate, to associate that with the criminal acts. Now, the APPG definition does not take away, us discussing any criminal activity. It just takes away the fact that we do not associate these criminal activities with an entire community and group. That's what it really does.
Can I just read you a piece from this guidance? Because it's a very important issue. We're going to have this debate over free speech and free expression. And I'm just going to read it to you. It says, as such, the recourse to the notion of free speech and a supposed right to criticise Islam results in nothing more than another subtle form of anti-Muslim racism, whereby the criticism humiliates, marginalises and stigmatises Muslims. One real-life example of this concerns the issue of grooming gangs. Now, the implication being that if you talk about grooming gangs, you are therefore perceived to be racist against Muslims, and therefore this definition would shut that debate down.
No, because anyone with really having a criminal act, doing anything wrong against the law, should be obviously spoken about. But if you're going to put a microscope on a particular group and only talk about where they come from, when actually there are other social issues that impact the fact that they are actually doing what they're doing, instead of just highlighting. There is a thing in psychology called, sort of distinction of discourse, discourse analysis. You know that, you're an academic. When we do research, when there's propaganda in media, we highlight certain words, certain things in order to do that.
So can I ask a question on that? Just for example, if we were living under this definition of Islamophobia, which may well be adopted by the Labour government, how would the debate over the rape gangs have happened? Because presumably people will have said, well, under this definition, you cannot have a national debate linking rape gangs to Pakistani Muslim communities, even though they are disproportionately more likely to be within Pakistani Muslim communities.
Well, I think because we're also making it in a micro sort of conversation, it is much more wider than just calling out their ethnicity, community and background. I'm not from the Pakistani background, and I am a Muslim. So I also don't want to be seen in a particular way, because even Muslims ourselves believe differently. So if you're going to just say Islam and Muslims in grooming gangs, you are actually going to incite, a whole community. It's better to say, yes, they do come from this background, but there's also issues. I work with the Ministry of Justice. I work in the grassroots, speaking to people in probation, and they come from all parts of, nationality, ethnicity, whatever it is. There are issues why they do have offences, and that is to do with whether they have mental health, whether their socio-economic background. I think that's more of a research that we need to put in form.
This how people reacted. This user said, I work within the Ministry of Justice. She says Connor said, I work with the Ministry of Justice. That's exactly what is wrong with this country. Stuart said, other social issues causing them to do what they are doing. Like what? Rosie said. I'm offended by grooming gangs, if I'm honest. Everything about them offends me, but the term grooming doesn't fit their actions. They wasn't gently brushing those girls' hair. They brutalized them in the most heinous ways. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. In other news, homeowners have been issued an urgent warning as fixed-rate mortgages are set to rise after government borrowing costs soared to their highest level in more than 27 years. The rise in borrowing costs has thrown expected mortgage rate reductions into question, despite previous predictions of multiple Bank of England base rate cuts this year. The yield on 30-year gilts reached 5.4% yesterday, a level not seen since 1998, while 10-year gilt yields climbed to 4.88%, the highest since the financial crisis. This has primarily been driven by Labour's budget plan to increase borrowing and spending, which has caused disruption in government debt markets, leading to higher interest rate expectations and rising gilt yields. Additionally, it is affecting SONIA swap rates, which reflect lenders' expectations of future interest rates and are crucial in determining the pricing of fixed-rate mortgages. 5-year swap rates have risen from 3.8% to 4.12%, while 2-year swaps have increased to 4.26% from 4% since early December. Yesterday alone saw 5-year swaps jump by 0.14 percentage points in a single day. This means that the lowest fixed-rate mortgages are currently below their equivalent swaps, something that rarely happens. The lowest 5-year fixed-rate mortgage currently pays 4.07%, and the lowest 2-year fixed rate is 4.16%. Stuart Cheetham, Chief Executive of Empowered Mortgages, warned that market uncertainty is driving volatility in swap rates, affecting mortgage rates. He said, "Although some lenders, including us, have reduced mortgage rates, these reductions are likely to be short-lived." Paul Dales, Chief UK Economist at Capital Economics, warned that mortgage rates could climb from around 4.5% in December to just over 5% in the coming weeks. Anita Wright, a chartered financial planner at Bolton James, suggested the Bank of England may struggle to cut interest rates further. She said, "The UK is trapped in a vicious debt circle. The bond market is saying, we're pretty certain a second wave of inflation is coming back, similar to the 1970s. Russ Mould, investment director at pensions firm AJ Bell, said the markets had cut back on the number of interest rates cuts they expected this year, with most bets by traders suggesting 2 rather than 4. He said he wouldn't be shocked if the Bank of England decided not to cut rates in February, when the next decision is due. Some lenders have moved to increase their rates, including Skipton, Virgin and Clydesdale, while TSB has raised more products than it has reduced SURA. Major lenders have also announced significant rate changes in recent days, with several cutting their mortgage rates. First Direct reduced rates across its mortgage range by up to 0.3 percentage points on Tuesday, offering its lowest 5-year fixed rate at 4.13% for buyers with 40% deposits. HSBC cut its 2-year fixed rates by up to 0.16% and 5-year fixed rates by up to 0.15% on Monday, with its lowest 5-year deal now at 4.09% for Premier customers. Halifax has implemented reductions of up to 0.35% for remortgage customers, offering 2-year fixed rates starting at 4.49% for those with a 40% deposit. Leeds Building Society joined the trend, reducing its fixed rates by up to 0.24%, with select interest-only rates cut by up to 0.15%. Accord has increased as many rates as it has cut, reflecting the mixed response to market conditions. Borrowers facing the end of their fixed-rate deals or looking to buy a home are advised to explore their options promptly. Homeowners can secure a new mortgage deal 6 to 9 months in advance, often without obligation. Most mortgage deals allow fees to be added to the loan, though borrowers should consider that paying interest on these fees over the entire term may not be cost-effective. House buyers should be cautious about overstretching, particularly as higher mortgage rates could impact property prices. The best approach is to speak with a mortgage broker who can compare costs across different lenders. Following the surge in borrowing costs, the pound tumbled to its lowest level against the US dollar since November 2023, falling nearly 1% to just under $1.23 US. The Treasury has pledged to maintain an iron grip on public finances following the debt market sell-off. Darren Jones, the Treasury Chief Secretary, told MPs the Chancellor would not borrow to pay for day-to-day spending despite rising costs. He said, "There should be no doubt about the government's commitment to economic stability and sound public finances. This is why meeting the fiscal rules is non-negotiable." What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.